again here, coming at you with another Hockey Parenting 101 video. Today's video, I'm shifting gears. I'm moving away from the equipment videos I've been doing because I frankly I've run out of things to talk about, I believe. So I'm going to move on to other topics of interest I think that every hockey parent should know. Today's video is going to be a quick and dirty of just the general rink layout and some terms that you've probably heard at the rink, or if you're like never been there, you'll definitely hear. And hopefully this video you can use to familiarize yourself with some of that terminology, some of the general stuff, so you don't come in completely blind as far as your understanding of the rink. So without further ado, I will get started. I'm going to move my camera down a little bit because I'm going to show a coach's board that I use when I help assistant coach. Every year I go into the season saying, you know what, this year I'm just going to take it easy. I'm just going to be a hockey parent, and then it just takes a couple conversations with the coaches before they realize, hey, this guy knows more than just being a parent, and realize that I could skate a little bit, and next thing you know, I'm getting a team warm-up and I'm part of the coaching staff. It never fails, but even though I kind of am reluctant to do it, I always enjoy coaching the kids and getting some extra time with my son or daughter out on the rink that I wouldn't get. I'd just be, I would be on my phone, not even paying attention to what's going on in the rink. So it's good. It's a benefit for everybody. All right, so this is the hockey rink. This is a top-down view of what the rink looks like. So if you go to the hockey rink, this is pretty much what you're going to see. Every rink has a little bit of a wrinkle or two, but this is the general layout. You can see there are 5 circles on the rink. These are called your face-off circles. Whenever there's a whistle, whenever the ref stops play, to restart play or to start play, like at the beginning of the game or beginning of periods, you use one of these circles to do a face-off, which is supposed to be a neutral team versus team. Puck drops by the ref, supposed to be as neutral as they can, and then that's how the play gets started. Whenever you start a period, the face-off will be at center ice right here. This is center ice. The reason why I know it's center ice, you got this red line or center line that splits the ice down in half, one side and the other side. And then this area in here, let me go back to, I'm veering away from the face-off discussion. So you start the games in each period in the first, second, and third period. There's only 3 periods if you didn't know that already. Not quarters, not halves, periods. Each period started in the center. Anytime there is a whistle in one end or the other, like if the goalie stops the puck, if the goalie stops the puck, or if there's a penalty in one of the sides, you will do a face-off down here in one of these 2 circles. So how do the refs figure out what circle it's going to be? If the shot comes from here to the goalie, or the puck comes from this way and the goalie stops it, like it comes from that corner and the goalie stops it, face-off's going to be here. If it happens on the opposite side, face-off's going to be here, and the same on this side. Other than the face-off circles, you also have 4 dots here in the center in the neutral zone, and I'll get to the zones in a minute. Each of those is also a face-off dot. So in these circles, you see these dots. Those are called face-off dots, face-off dots. So you got 5 face-off dots within 5 face-off circles. But then you also have these 4 face-off dots without circles, which gives you 9 total options for face-offs. These are used in case there is an offsides, which I'm not going to get into offsides and icing in this one. Those 2 topics will take 15 minutes to explain. I'm going to try to make it simple because I had a discussion with my wife 2 nights ago, and she's still confused, and she even confused me a little bit after me trying to explain it. I'm pretty sure I understand it full well, but there's some nuance, so that'll be a separate video. Anyway, if there is a offsides, that is another whistle stop. So instead of going to here or down here, you don't want to penalize the team in the defensive zone here because the offensive zone team was going this way and they went offside. So you would have this face off. If it came in on this side, face off would be here. If it offside happened here, face off would be here, and then vice versa. So those are all the face off dots and circles. Back to the zones. So you can see that the rink is fairly split up into 3 zones. This is the middle zone is the neutral zone, which makes sense, right? Because the neutral zone is in the middle. It's not favoring either team, it's in the middle, so it's the neutral zone. It has the red line or the center line, sorry, because it's typically a red line, or like you said, you see this is red and white checkered. Some teams will have different symbols, maybe some logos in there, but it'll almost always is a red line. And then you have the blue lines. The blue lines separate the neutral zone from either the defensive zone or offensive zone. The reason you know what to call it, defensive or offensive, depends on pretty much who you're rooting for or how you're looking at a team. If your team is defending this net, this would be your defensive zone. So this would be the side that you're playing on. Now if you're the home team, say your home bench is here, I'll get into benches in a little bit. So you would be on this side for the first and third period, and you would actually go to the opposite side as your defensive zone for the second period. And then the visiting team would have their defensive zone for the first and third period over here, and then the defensive zone for the second period here. And you alternate every period, and then obviously there's only 3, so the home team is on one side 2 times, and then 1 over here, and then vice versa. So when you hear your team or your coach talking to your team about breaking it out from the defensive zone, well, they're trying to get the puck out from their zone, get it away from their goalie, and then start the attack, the rush. That's how they call it, the rush, like moving the puck up the ice. Or if the coach says you need to move through the neutral zone with speed, well, that means skating it up fast through the neutral zone to get in the offensive zone. And then you push the puck into the offensive zone because you're trying to score. So those are the zones. You can see here there's also another line I haven't talked about yet. That's the goal line. And it's called the goal line because it's the line that separates the crease, the goalie's crease, from the net. And in order for you to score, or the other team to score, or anyone to score, the puck has to 100% cross the goal line. It has to completely cross the goal line, which is different than American football. American football, the football only has to touch the end zone line for it to be considered a touchdown. The nose of the ball crosses the line. It's a touchdown. In hockey, not the case. The puck has to completely cross this line for it to count. So if you see a puck like that's just barely hanging on to the line, it's still no goal, and there's still an opportunity for the goalie to save it. Like I said, this is the goal. You can see the net here, and then this is the goalie's crease. So the crease is where the goalie plays out of for the most part. As an opposing player, you're not allowed to impede the goalie within that. That is the goalie's house. So you cannot impede the goalie. You can kind of be in there, but if you score and it's because your body was in the way of the goalie to be able to move in their house, then that goal is going to get nullified. You might also see like you don't see it on this board here, but you might see like a sort of a trapezoid. That is also for the goalie to play the puck with their stick, like stick handle the puck. But they are prevented from going any farther out either side. I haven't seen this too often with youth players. Typically, youth players are not trying to be Marty Brodeur, Old Devils Stanley Cup champion, and who was a master with his goalie stick, which is impressive because goalie sticks are big paddles. So the things he could do with his stick were amazing. But he would come way out here And eventually they put these trapezoids in NHL rinks. It's almost like the Marty Brodeur rule to keep them locked in back here so they're not becoming like basically a sixth skater. So anyway, you may see those. You don't typically see those in public rinks or small association rinks. What else? So talked about zones, talked about face-offs. I mentioned the players' benches. So on either side of the rink, you'll have, it depends on where basically where the bleachers are at, usually opposite of where the players' benches are, but you'll have the home players' bench on one side and the visitors on the other side. So when first and third period you're going this way, it's easier to make line changes. When it's the second period, it's kind of a pain, or that alternating period, the second period for both teams, it's a pain because now you're going the opposite way that you want to go, or you're going the opposite way, so it just makes it harder to do line changes. If you look at how they're set up next time you're in the rink, you can kind of understand that. And then most public rinks, you'll also have penalty boxes that are on the same side as the benches, and then even the clock and the scorekeeper they'll also all be along one side of the ice. In some rinks, well, all NHL rinks, I think, and then in some rinks, including my daughter's current home rink, while the players' benches are on this side, the penalty boxes are over here, which makes it more difficult to, when you have a player in the box, it just makes it more difficult to coordinate with them what they're going to do when they get out of the penalty box, whether it be go back and play, support the play, or to come back and get the line change. So there's got to be a little bit of heads-up coordination with your team on what the expectations are. If they're on your side, you can look right at them and say, hey, I want you on the bench, or hey, go out and play. It makes it a lot easier. And then also the clock and the score keeper could be on the opposite side, which really doesn't affect anybody unless they stop, they're playing music between face-offs and you're trying to scream at them, hey, you didn't start the clock again, you need to start the clock. It's easier to do it when they're next to you versus trying to scream all the way across the ice. What else? Oh no, you know what, I'm going to talk about it. So you'll hear coaches, or you'll hear other parents when the play's going on talking about get it to the slot. The slot is basically like right in this area here. That is where, I don't know what the statistics are now, but that is where greater than 90% of all goals are scored at all levels, from house, mite, which is the little ones, all the way through the NHL. The majority of your goals are scored in the slot. And there's low slot, which is closer to the goalie, and high slot, which is more above. Oh, I forgot to talk about that too. So that's the slot. So if you hear anybody talk about the slot, that's basically where the slot's at. These here are hash marks. I forgot to mention those when I was talking face-off circles. Those are the hash marks. So if you hear, hey, get to the hash mark for face-off, or hey, I expect you to be at the hash marks, or the half boards, which the half boards is the halfway point basically between the goal line and the blue line. So if your player's like mom, dad, guardian don't understand, he keeps telling me to go to the half boards, like that's the half boards, and that's the hash marks. So they should know what the hash marks are, but half boards, you don't hear that too often. So if you do hear half boards, that's what they're talking about. Talked about slot, talked about half boards. I think that's it. I think I talked about everything. So again, this was a quick and dirty explanation of the rink, the topside view to the rink, and the different terms you'll probably hear at the rink. These are the ones you'll hear most often. Folks are talking about. Oh, I forgot. That's another thing I forgot. Sorry, should have wrote this stuff down. If you hear strong side, weak side. So the strong side doesn't matter what side of the rink it's on, or what zone it is in. The strong side is wherever the puck's at. So if the puck's in this side, That's the strong side. Don't ask me why they went with strong side, weak side. I don't know, but if you hear strong side, that's where the puck's at. If you hear the coach screaming, "Get it to the weak side," they're trying to tell their team, strong side usually, especially with youth teams, especially with youth house teams, they all gather around the puck trying to get it, which is not the way they should be doing it. But even at travel, like all the players are going to shift towards where the puck's at. So this becomes the strong side, and then that means if that's the strong side, then this must be the weak side, right? So whenever you hear strong side, weak side, and your kid's like, I don't understand what they're saying, weak side. It's like, weak side is the side where probably nobody's at, and usually where you can make a great play. If you have your own team over here, some players on the weak side, and you can get them open. They're wide open, and they can go right to the net, or they can make a play. They'll have more time to make a play. That's where the open ice is at. Okay, I think that's it. I'll get into more detail with terminology. We'll have a penalty video. I got a lot of videos. I thought I was going to run out of stuff to do for hockey parenting. I have 20 plus different ideas to do. If there's something that you want me to talk about, put it in hockey parenting layman's terms, let me know. I would gladly support. I'm pretty sure I probably got it written down already to do, but again, if you have ideas, please let me know. I'd love to do them. I'm having fun with this. This is a good time. Having more fun than I thought I would. So please subscribe. I got a couple subscribers now, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I'll continue to try to improve. I got people actually waiting for my videos. It's exciting. So I'll continue to try to do better. So appreciate the views, and please hit that like button. Please subscribe, and I'll continue to do more videos, at least on a weekly basis. So anyway, Crisis DN signing off.